Okay. I don't... Wait. Sorry, give me 1 second here. It takes a little while to, restart. Okay. I want to make sure... Okay, the plus is quite a while away. I will only not be showing the 18 plus like I usually do. Something really stands out in this ballroom. It's the awkward, red-headed knight standing in the middle of the floor. His arms are sternly behind his back and his feet are spread apart, adopting a stance reminiscent of a military debrief. Sir EEYOK, please, be at ease. You're here to learn how to dance. There's no need to be on guard, I assure him. EEYOK tentatively eases his posture, although he still appears somewhat out of place. Our dance instructor stands to the side. He was supposed to teach me and lead me in the dance, but plans have changed. Now he's teaching EEYOK how to dance. Good sir, have you got any experience whatsoever in the fine art of dance? Asks the instructor. EEYOK glances sideways. The blank expression on his face says enough. So in all your time looping, we never danced? Okay, this must be very strange for him. And this is like why I'm not totally convinced that he's looping. Despite all the evidence that shows that he should be looping. Country dance, perhaps? The instructor offers. EEYOK shakes his head. Drunken bar dancing? He suggests as his final example. None, EEYOK answers. The notion of EEYOK joyfully dancing atop a bar with a drink in hand seems like a ridiculous fantasy. An enjoyable one, I must admit. Seeing him let loose a bit would be a pleasant change from his usual uptight demeanor. The instructor sighs at EEYOK's response, but swiftly regains composure and claps his hands together. No matter, we shall cover the more popular dances, starting with the minuet, the two-person dance. EEYOK straightens up, looking a bit nervous. Is there contact involved? He dares to ask. I would rather not. Yeah, 'cause it hurts, eh, dragon? I suddenly feel a pang of pain in my heart. Is EEYOK averse to touching me? I recall the first time he held my hand while assisting me out of the carriage. That odd look of surprise and disgust still haunts me. Why, of course there is, but very minimal, the instructor answers. You should hold hands every now and then during certain parts. EEYOK doesn't look satisfied with this answer. He glances over to my hands and I instinctively move them out of his view. I request your grace wear gloves then, EEYOK states. He's a dwagon. He's a fucking dwagon. He's half dragon. Oh, he must really dislike touching me. I was looking forward to these dance lessons, but hearing him state this outright has placed a damper on my enthusiasm. I feel like I have something in my hair. I can't see it. It's customary to wear gloves during the ball, but it's not necessary during the lessons, the instructor answers. I insist, says EEYOK. I do not wish to taint your grace's skin with the rough hands of a knight. Although I want to convey that it doesn't matter to me, EEYOK seems insistent on this matter. For now, I shall concede to his demands. Very well, I shall have Mandy fetch some gloves, I say, and walk over to the entrance and ring a bell. A little while later, Mandy appears and takes on my request, scurrying off to fetch my gloves. She returns a little while after having retrieved 2 white silky gloves. I pull them on, dragging them all the way over my elbow until they snap into place. Once done, I show my gloved hands to EEYOK. Satisfied? EEYOK casts his gaze downwards, looking slightly guilty for his request. He nods his head. Very well, let's start, says the instructor excitedly. He pushes EEYOK onto the dance floor and instructs me to stand on the opposite side of him. Now take the lady's hand like a fleeting butterfly. I extend my hand towards EEYOK and he reciprocates. Our hands meet in the middle and he gently wraps his fingers around mine, behaving with gentlemanly grace. It's then that I notice that he's trembling ever so slightly. Is he nervous? Or is he apprehensive at having to touch me? Are the gloves not enough? I can't tell and it's unnerving me. Make eye contact with each other, that's important, says the instructor when he notices EEYOK's been looking at his feet. He snaps his head up and locks eyes with mine. I feel the urge to look away or retrieve my hand. Suddenly, I'm not as comfortable as I was before. The instructor performs the first part of the move, where we create a circle and then pull each other close. Now you try. We commence walking around each other in a circle, maintaining our handhold. Your foot, sir, you must move them, chastises the instructor, demonstrating the proper steps once more. EEYOK bites his bottom lip, glancing down at his feet as we repeat the circle. "Look up!" he exclaims. Immediately, EEYOK looks up, resembling a child caught in mischief. In that moment, he stumbles over his feet and I have to squeeze his hand firmly to keep him upright. "Sorry," he apologizes meekly, releasing my hand. "No matter," I say, smiling. "I messed up a lot at the start too." That seems to relax him a bit as he appeared more apprehensive by the second. "This is your first dance lesson. You just gave away that you're a time looper. You just gave it away." And I still can't tell whether it's because he's never danced before or if it's because his dance partner is me. I love this, like, misunderstanding as well. I don't know why. Sometimes they're annoying, like really annoying, but this misunderstanding is interesting because then you get like the misunderstanding is like, "You don't even want to touch me. You think I'm disgusting. You don't even want to touch me." And then he's like, "That's not true." You know what I mean? The instructor claps his hand. "Again," he roars. EEYOK and I return to our starting positions as he guides us through the dance steps. While I'm already familiar with them, EEYOK, a complete novice, stumbles through the steps. Whenever we draw close, he consistently averts his gaze from me. During moments where he needs to maneuver around me, he often steps on my dress. In a step requiring both of us to hold hands, he keeps his arm as rigid as possible. After an hour and not getting much further than the start of the dance, the instructor announces he needs a small mental break to reconvene his strategy. EEYOK wears a guilty expression on his face as the instructor leaves the room. "Sorry, I'm a disaster at this," he confesses. "I think you're improving," I cheer him up, yet I can't shake off the feeling that something else is at play. "Perhaps you need a different partner. Would you like to dance with the instructor instead?" I suggest. He tilts his head, slightly puzzled. "I thought I was being taught to dance so I could dance with you, Your Grace." "Well, so did I, but you seem rather nervous and apprehensive at getting close to me." EEYOK presses his mouth shut, turning away. "Seems I was right. It is me. I didn't think this would be such an issue for you." EEYOK's face slowly gains color, his eyebrows drooping in response. He starts skittish. "I'm not used to being so close to you women," he finishes. He rubs the back of his head. "I am but a humble knight. I fear I could hurt you by accident." "Hurt me?" I question loudly. "How? Stepping on my feet is no big deal." He looks dejected, his lips forming into a pout. It's not an expression I would have expected of him. "I am a little nervous." He pauses. "With you," he mumbles, his cheeks tinted pink. "Do I unnerve you?" I question, feeling rejected myself. EEYOK doesn't answer, simply looking down at the floor. "Tremendously," he whispers. My heart thumps. I can't read from his body language whether he's saying I unnerve him because he's disgusted with me or something else entirely. "Am I revolting?" I finally dared to say. EEYOK throws up his hands in a defensive position. No, he claims hastily. "That is not true at all. You are beauty and grace. I am merely humbled by your presence." He shifts his gaze away. "Please forgive me if I made you think that way," he says softly. "I am as foolish and incompetent in social grace as I am in dance." I can't help but crack a smile at that. His words do make my heart feel lighter. "I don't think you are as foolish as you claim you are," I say, lightening the mood. "That is why one must practice." I offer my hand to him. "Let's continue our dance lessons, shall we?" EEYOK humbly bows in front of me and gently takes my hand in his so we can practice the dance from the beginning. The teacher returns, further helping us learn the dance. EEYOK steps on my feet a few times and bumps into me once, but I can tell he's trying. The nervousness decreases the longer we practice. A couple of weeks and more lessons later, EEYOK seems to have grasped the basic minuet. Honestly, that's the most I can probably ask of him. One dance should be more than enough to save face. What's also been exciting is seeing the kittens grow up every time I visit EEYOK. Their paws are long and slender, but their face is still small. They look adorable in this growth period. I see them running around the premises, chasing each other and rolling around in the dirt. Even though they're outside, they don't run away and stay close by. Then I finally spot EEYOK in the middle of the grounds. Oh, he's dancing by himself! Holding out his arms as if he were guiding an invisible person, EEYOK paces back and forth on the gravel, following the steps of the dance. See, this is beautiful because, like, in every time loop, he's... Again, I'm just, bullshitting. Every time loop, he's never been able to do this. This is like living a dream for him. And if he really is time looping, he must be so scared about losing her because, like, this happiness is so fragile, you know what I mean? Ugh, time loops are so good. The kittens run around him in circles, but he's doing a good job of avoiding stepping on them. You've gotten quite good, I announce myself. EEYOK falters and trips over his feet, stumbling forwards. Ah, Your Grace, he hiccups with an embarrassed look. I didn't see you there. Nice to see you've been practicing on your own as well, I say. He shyly pushes the hair out from his eyes. I can't embarrass Your Grace at the ball, after all, he murmurs. Speaking of, that's why I'm here. Oh? I came to get you so we can prepare to go to the Andersons' tailor shop. EEYOK nods his head, not questioning why I would want to go in the first place. Very well, meet me at the carriage in 10 minutes. As EEYOK heads off to prepare our ride, I bend down to play with the little kittens. They adore jumping against my skirt or hiding under it to fend off their siblings. I'm glad they got a place to live after all. They seem healthy. I grin to myself as I think about EEYOK practicing alone again. He's determined to get it right, I'll give him that. Eventually, I leave to Anderson's. I hear my kitten behind me. As usual, EEYOK doesn't want to enter, but I must insist. After all, we came here so that EEYOK can get fitted for a suit. Valkii, Kim shouts happily, seeing me once more. Hi, Kim, I say, smiling back at her. I mean, Your Grace, she says, demurely looking at the floor. As always, pay it no mind, I grin back at her. What can I do for you, she asks. I gesture at the knight behind me. Him, I want you to measure him and craft him a fine suit. Seeing my gesturing, EEYOK's eyebrows raise. He stammers. I turn to him, smirking. Well, did you think you were going to dance in your uniform? I ask. No, Your Grace, but I have some formal attire. I don't need... But those aren't suitable for a masquerade ball, not to mention you're missing a mask. Kim nods along with me. Yes, a masquerade ball is an entirely different vibe. We will show you the most splendid fabrics we have to offer. Do you have anything in mind? EEYOK looks caught off guard at the sudden questions and doesn't know how to answer. Do you have any royal blue? Some satin gold would look great as well. I answer for him, having my wheels turn inside my head. I still love to make clothes, after all. Kim winks at me. I'd know just the fabric. Then she beckons EEYOK to come follow her. But first, let's get your measurements taken. Your Grace? Asks EEYOK, unsure. Go have your measurements taken. I'll be right here, I say, waving after him as Kim leads him away. I couldn't have EEYOK arrive at the ball without the proper attire. He's a simple knight with a measly wage. He wouldn't be able to afford the kind of luxurious outfits everyone would be wearing. Thankfully, Veritas doesn't know what I spent my pocket money on. And with everyone wearing a mask, no one will recognize EEYOK either. A little while later, Kim and EEYOK return, having finished taking the measurements. I'll have it delivered to Howell Manor in time for the ball, says Kim with a nod. Thank you, Kim. I flash her a smile. I wouldn't have minded making it myself if I'm going to be honest. I do miss it. At the very least, I can count on Kim to complete the job. We leave the shop to return to the manor. The maids have been busy preparing for the masquerade ball. There's only a few more days left, so everyone is rushing, trying to complete their tasks in time. Meanwhile, I am genuinely shocked to have Mandy enter the room, along with who I thought was bedridden, Glenn. Your Grace, Lord Glenn van der Sand is here for your music lessons, Mandy announces before giving us the room. Glenn steps into the room, his cane tapping loudly onto the tiles. He looks composed, a fair complexion. My lord, I thought you were sick, I ask, surprised at his entrance. Why do you sound so disappointed, he remarks. You can't get rid of me that easily. But for sure, I thought Glenn had the Drax curse. All the symptoms were there, the coughing, pale skin, confusion, it all pointed to that dreadful affliction. In later stages, he would have trouble remembering things and develop dry skin that would crack. Eventually, organ failure was imminent and he would die. At least that's how it went with my parents. But one thing is for sure, in my previous life, I never saw Glenn again after he cancelled our lessons. I don't remember whether he died of the Drax curse or not. I never sought to inquire any information about his well-being, so I can't be too sure. However, Glenn standing in front of me right now is one of the most divergent facts that's happened so far that wasn't directly influenced by myself. I mean, maybe he just didn't fuck with you before, so he got better and didn't come back. How? I ask. Just a simple cold, he answers. Seems I started getting better after your visit, in fact. I fall silent, contemplating the possibility that my visit might have altered his destiny. Was visiting him all he needed to return? Maybe the reason he never returned wasn't because he succumbed to the Drax curse, but simply because he chose not to. Yeah, I'm telling you, he didn't fuck with you before. I don't know. I wish I knew if he was dead or alive in my previous life. That's great to hear, truly, I say. Now stop your interrogation. We have lessons to begin, Glenn says as his usual grumpy self. Without missing a beat, Glenn goes back to teaching me, showcasing his ability to have retained his quick wit and snarky remarks. Somehow, his comments don't sting nearly as much as they used to. That's oomph. That's another oomph right there. Today's the day. All the staff is frantic and walking around making sure things are presentable. I smooth out my own dress and adjust the mask on my face. I'm wearing something else than last time, which was a dress that Veritas had picked out for me. The dress was demure and didn't have much color. Compared to everyone else around me, I faded into the background. But this time I stand out. She is wearing that gold dress. Okay. I had Kim adjust one of the dresses I already owned. Now I'm wearing a bold and golden dress, showcasing some of my bare shoulders. Daring, I know. Veritas stands next to me so that we can greet the first arrivals at the party. I can't tell what kind of expression he's wearing under the mask. You can't tell? He's only across his eyes. That's not the dress I picked out, he notes. I know, I reply. Your job is not to stand out from the crowd. You have to wear what I tell you, he hisses. Do you wish to undress me here and now? I say haughtily. Don't be so impudent, he snarls. You've made your decision. Do not leave the party before it has even begun. Good, because I quite like this dress, I say, smiling to myself. It'd be a shame to have to get rid of it. I will be making a cut to your allowance, he says dryly. I swallow in response. Taking a hit to my income will hurt, until I have my own, that is. I put on a brave face as the first guests start arriving. The Kotovs arrive sometime later. Good evening, Viscount and Viscountess Kotov. I greet them with a curtsy. Oh, this is the masquerade that they were talking about before. How are you doing this fine evening? Veritas asks politely. I still need to be taking screenshots here. I'm stupid. Why did I close? I have like a 75% keyboard or whatever. I don't know if this is frozen, my OBS. Maybe not. I don't know. So I have to do it like manually with the keyboard on-screen keyboard. I know there's a shortcut, I just can never remember it. How are you doing this fine evening? Veritas asks politely. Dreadful, Chelsea answers honestly. My wife can't stay on her feet for too long, thus we'll be finding her a seat, says Alexander. They both rush past us so Chelsea can find a chair to sit on. She's with child, I tell Veritas, who doesn't seem to have noticed. It must be hard for her to stand for long periods of time. Are you gonna say, like, you don't give a shit about pregnant women or whatever? Veritas pays it no heed, for the next individuals we greet arrive with an entourage. Okay, at least he wasn't, he didn't have anything to say. An unknown servant walks up in front, facing us. I present to you the Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Grindalia, James Fulop. I'm pissed. Where is Dimitri? Even James... I mean, it makes sense that James is here, because Veritas is here. So it makes sense that James is here, because EEYOK was very much requested after James's route. So it makes sense that he would appear. But where's Dimitri? Dimitri is never in any route. I've never seen him outside of his route, I don't think. Maybe as a kid? Why am I, like, thinking of a kid? But I think that was in his route. You'd be like, I saw him as a kid or something. The servant retreats, unveiling a tall man adorned in dark garments. I possess only a vague recollection of his attendance, with our interactions limited to this initial greeting. We're honored to host the royal family's esteemed presence, says Veritas with a bow. We hope you enjoy the ball. The man utters no words, offering only a curt nod, proceeding into the ballroom with an authoritative aura. I release a breath, feeling a bit suffocated with all the greetings we have to do, until finally my knight in shining armor shows up. He looks good. Well, not armor, but a splendidly tailored three-piece suit. EEYOK advances, donned in a blue coat and a golden mask, delivering a concise bow. Veritas fails to recognize him. Good evening, Baron Vandervelt. Please enjoy the ball, I greet him. Veritas whirls his head in my direction, unfamiliar with the fabricated name I spontaneously devised. Vanderbilt. EEYOK promptly passes us to evade any inquiries from Veritas. Wise. Who? Not here, Your Grace. Put on a smile for your next guests are arriving, I tell him with a fake smile. Veritas holds his tongue as he greets the new guests. He can't get a word in because one after another they all arrive. Eventually, I slip away from him when most of the guests have arrived. Seems I managed to fool him to get EEYOK inside. Now to find my knight. It doesn't... She's definitely acting like she's already in love with him, I'm just saying. It doesn't take me long to locate EEYOK, leisurely positioned by the buffet table, sampling a petite tart. Inconspicuously, I position myself nearby. Enjoying your desserts, my lord? EEYOK coughs as he tries to swallow down his food. He coughs a few times more in his hand and clears his throat. Your Grace, he responds, I did not anticipate such an address. Do you like it? I tease him. I cannot lay claim to such an important title, he says dismissively. Well, it was either that or having to explain to the Duke why I've permitted my knight to attend the ball. EEYOK turns his face away. It's challenging to read him with the mask obscuring his features. I understand. You look absolutely dashing, though, I compliment him. You wear fine clothes well. EEYOK's posture stiffens, hastening to conclude his tart. He stammers. Now, it is customary for you to reciprocate with a compliment, I giggle. Of course, Your Grace, you look stunning, he says somewhat rigidly. That doesn't sound very genuine, I jest, aiming to ease his demeanor. Apologies, Your Grace, I am unaccustomed to a setting of this nature. I surveyed the elegant crowd adorned in extravagant outfits and masks, swirling across the ballroom. I, too, felt out of place initially. Even more so, no one interacted with me the rest of the night, save for a drunk. I felt so unseen. You seem to have adjusted well, he remarks. Have I? I echo. It's not my first time anymore, after all. Yes, you carry yourself with poise and grace. You command the most respect among all in attendance. EEYOK's flattery catches me off guard. While he may not be able to compliment my beauty in the conventional manner, he effortlessly interweaves praise for my integrity as an individual. I'm grateful for wearing a mask, as I'm undoubtedly blushing. In the background, I see Veritas ask Chelsea to dance, the same events unfolding once more. EEYOK notices my gaze and looks at the dance floor as well. I may be a fish out of water here, but even I know that the Duke should have asked you to dance first, he notes, clenching his hand into a fist. It's fine, I told you this would happen, I say. It's not fine, EEYOK argues. You are his fiancé and should be treated as such. He is correct. At an event of this nature, the inaugural dance should be performed by the hosts, adhering to tradition. But no one cared, and I was forced to sit on the sidelines watching Veritas dance with Chelsea. Thus, it warms my heart that at least EEYOK appears to genuinely care about Veritas' breach of traditions. Thank you, I say quietly. Yeah, it's so funny that he talks to you about, like, traditions and, like, women should ride with their, like, legs to the side on a horse. He's so rigid about that, but when it comes to, like, these things, he's like, I'm gonna do what I want. Typical dude. For what, Your Grace? For not making me feel like I'm crazy for expecting him to dance with me. Well, he says, pausing slightly to tilt his head down to look at me in the eye. It's his loss. He then extends his hand. Your Grace, would you care to dance with me? I smile at him, feeling myself beam at the prospect. Thought you'd never ask, I reply, taking his hand within my own. EEYOK leads me through the bustling crowd, guiding us past various nobles engrossed in their conversations. The dance between Veritas and Chelsea concludes, prompting a gathering for the next dance. Whispers ripple through the crowd as EEYOK and I approach the dance floor. Isn't that... One woman says, "Who's the gentleman?" asks another man. People get into position for the dance, as do EEYOK and I. We stand in front of each other just as we practiced. The music commences and EEYOK and I intertwine our hands, pulling in, then gracefully retreating. Our dance mirrors the ebb and flow of the ocean. Surrounding couples replicate the same movements. Despite EEYOK's occasional glances at the floor to ensure precise footing, he maintains pace with the rest. He's keeping up. I smile at him in earnest as we approach each other again, the back of our hands touching. We circle around each other, maintaining eye contact. Despite the shadow cast by his mask, his golden eyes do sparkle in this light. You're doing great, I whisper to him as we pass by each other. EEYOK doesn't comment, too focused on paying attention to the next step. I'm actually having fun like this. EEYOK accidentally steps onto my foot and he hastily jumps back. Apologies, he exclaims in a panic, except he bumps into the dancer behind him, losing his footing. My eyes widen as I see EEYOK tumble towards me. Ruh-roh. Instinct. That is a bold dress. There's some side boob going on. Instinctively, his hands reach out, grabbing hold of me to prevent both of us from falling onto the dance floor. His hand is securely around my back, the other inadvertently resting on my thigh. Our faces are but a breath apart. All I see are glimmering eyes staring at me in pure shock. EEYOK has captured not only my body, but also my breath. I find it hard to say anything or even move. Everyone else around us has also stopped their dance. EEYOK stammers. Shh, pull me back up, I say quietly. EEYOK raises me upright, and I promptly seize his hand, pulling myself in before twirling on my feet, moving away from him. Onlookers chuckle as they witness my attempt to resume the dance despite the mishap. EEYOK comprehends my intention and re-engages in the dance. The others follow suit, returning to their normal routine. Though stiffer than before, EEYOK manages to complete the dance. At the end, we bow to each other and I let out a giggle. Well danced, Sir EEYOK, I say. EEYOK looks a bit deflated, his shoulders slumped. I messed up. I'm so sorry, Your Grace, he says. I step closer to him, placing a hand on his shoulder so I can stand on the tips of my toes. I had fun, I confess. Thank you. EEYOK mumbles something I can't quite hear. What did you mumble? Like, at least give me, like, a hint of what he mumbled. You can't quite hear, so that means you heard a little bit. Please write that down. Write that so I can read it and maybe try to interpret what he was mumbling. So I can continue my conspiracy theory that he is a looper. Ready to leave the dance floor after my one and only dance, a tap on my shoulder diverts my attention. I turn around to see none other than the Prince of Grindalia bowing before me. James? May I have this dance? He asks with a hand over his heart. I can't help but gawk at him. This never happened before. Your Grace, enjoy the ball, says EEYOK politely as he steps out. Still processing this, I simply nod at him. The prince takes my hand and we return to the center of the floor, awaiting the start of the next dance. The music starts up again. He does look good. You're a hard person to get a hold of, gatekeeper, he remarks as we draw close to each other. Are you implying you've been wanting to dance with me all this time? I inquire. We twirl, then return. Dance? No, I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You wanted to talk to me? We're chatting right now, I reply. Hoy, aren't you? He spins me around, then pulls me back in. I'm meant to chat without the watchful eyes of your fiancé, he whispers. Look at those little chompers. Suddenly, I realize what he's getting at. He wants to talk to me in private. But he doesn't say anything more as we dance. We continue like normal, finishing up. He bows politely in front of me. Thank you for this dance, he says. How is he fucking nicer in this room than he is on his own? So I heard the creaking of a door. That was creepy. He walks past me in a brisk manner, and if I weren't paying close attention, I wouldn't have heard him say to meet him in the garden in 10 minutes. I watch his retreating back, blending into the crowd. I feel uneasy. What does the prince want with me? Maybe he's not nice, maybe he's taking us to kill us, but we'll see. Why have the events changed? He never talked to me before, so why now? Is it really because I danced with EEYOK? My eyes connect with Veritas, who's been watching us dance all this time. It's suffocating, to be honest. I quickly disperse to find EEYOK, who has retreated to the buffet table. Sir EEYOK, I call out to him. Your Grace, did you enjoy the dance with the prince? I hold my tongue. I can't quite say this out loud, can I? I lean in to whisper in his ear. Can you meet me in the garden? Don't let anyone see you. EEYOK doesn't question my command. He simply nods his head, then disappears. I stand alone at the buffet table, watching Veritas dance with another noble lady. I really can't fathom why the Prince of Grindalia wants to speak to me, and without Veritas around as well. If it's a private conversation he wants, this is definitely something that could be potentially dangerous, so I want EEYOK by my side as much as possible. Grindalia is under the Empire, and the Empire wants me dead. I cannot gauge the prince's intentions, so I must be prepared for anything. At the height of the party, I slip away unnoticed. It's quiet when everyone is in the ballroom. It seems people don't really want to go to see the garden at night. EEYOK has been waiting for me, and he stands up straight when he sees me approach. He's even sporting his sword by his side again. He came well prepared. Your Grace, he says, scanning the surroundings. What is wrong? Well, I suppose it's my oversight for not specifying to come alone, says the prince as he reveals himself. EEYOK and I stare at him, unaware of his intentions. Sir EEYOK is my personal retainer. Where I go, he goes. I stay steadfast. Walk with me, gatekeeper, he says, gesturing his head towards the back of the garden, further away from the manor. I accompany him, EEYOK trailing a respectful distance behind. In a quiet alcove, the prince halts. EEYOK maintains a vigilant stance. Gatekeeper, the prince begins, his gaze fixed on me. It's quite the feat to secure an audience with you. The Duke keeps a tight leash. What is it you wish to say? I say, narrowing my eyes at him. I harbour no ill intentions. My purpose is solely for the welfare of my kingdom. And what purpose is that? I'm in need of your assistance, or should I say, of your unique abilities, gatekeeper, he says in a serious tone. My abilities? I echo. I recognize you're under the Duke's protection. Conversing with me may be perceived as a direct affront to his sovereignty. That is why I request your presence at another location. You mean in secret, I state. Very well deduced, he replies with a hint of sarcasm. I'm sorry, but I'm wary of accepting such an offer. How do I know you will not lure me into a trap to kill me? I fire back. The prince scoffs at me. You're so little, gatekeeper, it doesn't take much to kill you right here and now. EEYOK appears in front of me, pushing up the hilt of his sword, a silent declaration of readiness. Touch her and my blade will meet your neck, he says in a calm voice, much calmer than I would have expected. How dare you threaten a prince? That is a one-way ticket to the gallows, he huffs. EEYOK doesn't sheath his sword, though, and holds his ground in front of him. Do you really have a death wish? Gatekeeper, call your guard off me. What I want aligns with your own interests as well, he barks. I place my hand on his arm, urging him to put away his sword. It's all right. Let's hear what he has to say. Reluctantly, EEYOK lets go of the sword's hilt, but remains vigilant. To demonstrate my good faith, I've brought you a gift, says the prince with a reluctant sigh. He reaches into his coat and produces an ancient, mysterious-looking book, offering it to me. Intrigued, I accept it, but the title is in an unfamiliar language, and thus I cannot read it. However, it's EEYOK that stiffens up once he lays eyes on the cover. Oh, it seems your guard dog knows what it is, says the prince, smirking. What is it? I ask, opening the book and mindlessly browsing through the old and worn-out pages. My heart stops as I flip through a page with drawn symbols. I quickly browse back to the correct page. There, a drawn symbol in the shape of an odd triangle, much like the same symbol that has been etched into the back of my neck. That, Gatekeeper, is an otherworld relic, a dragon's tome. My mouth drops open as I stare at the page with wide eyes. Are you interested in meeting with me now? Yes, I am. I guess I am. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.